All right, good evening, everybody. Meteorologist Gerfen in once again with more in the way of some severe coverage. We also have meteorologist Dickey in-house too. We've got Chief Meteorologist Kevin Lighty in our storm tracker, and we have our intern Max also in here too, kind of watching how we do our severe coverage. So we'll go right in now to our storm tracker Doppler. We are still watching, again, portions of now Iroquois County, Ford County, and McLean counties with our warnings. As you'll see, technically, Livingston County no longer has any more warnings anymore. As we zoom on into those areas, you are going to see that these are mainly exhibiting strong winds with them. So zooming on in, got a lot of heavy lightning with these two, but like we were talking about earlier, unfortunately, the warnings that do pop up on the screen here are not doing that. So we have this polygon, one polygon right here for, this is Iroquois County, the southwestern corner of Iroquois County and into Ford County. That one goes until 6 o'clock, and then we have for portions of McLean County that goes until 5:45. Both of these warning polygons have radar estimated gusts of 60 miles per hour, as well as 1 inch in diameter hail. At times we have had actually, especially in the Colfax area a little bit ago, about 20 minutes ago, some reports of some pea-sized hail with some golf ball-sized hail mixed in there too. Technically, though, this is more of a wind threat, and we'll go to our hail size right now. It's not exactly all that impressive currently, but this does have at times, has exhibited a little bit of some intensification, kind of going down right now as it moves off to the southeast towards the Saybrook area in Gibson City. So our hail core isn't exactly huge, but it is still there. So we're kind of watching for that. Our main thing, like I've been saying, though, has been more of the wind threat. These winds are relatively strong because these are still in Ford and Iroquois County for the most part. We actually have the Chicago radar turned on because they fall under their jurisdiction, and we have the bright green colors there signifying that we've got some strong winds, but we also do have some reds showing up here too, and there's a little bit of some mixing here and there. So we might be having a little bit of some potentially some downburst activity with some of these storms. It's kind of tough to see right now because this would be very far away from both radars, and we'd be looking at this a bit more higher up in the sky. The radar beam is at an angle, so we also have the curvature of the Earth. So the farther away that it is from the radar site, the higher that beam is going to be shooting through the storm. So things may be a little bit different looking at the ground, but for the most part, though, this remains to be a wind threat for sure. We have had at times reports of some strong winds coming in, but we'll look at our future track right now, and we'll see that as we go later on into our evening, we are still anticipating there being more storms that will form farther off to the west. But in terms of our severe weather window, really we're about 7 o'clock, give or take. After that, it's going to be potentially more of a less of a threat, a little bit weaker as we go through the evening hours. We're still going to expect the storms to be here during the 9, 10 o'clock hours, but as we go later on into the evening, these storms are moving off to the south more, and they will be weakening. We have Chief Meteorologist Kevin Lighty out in our storm tracker. Looks like his shot is good to go. We're going to take that right now. And what you're going to see is him driving through. He was by the Cissna Park area earlier on when we were in our 5 o'clock newscast. And I'm wondering if he can hear us. But that was a shot that he had there. So that is where he's in our trusty storm tracker right now. Jacob, do you know where he is?
Last I knew, he was heading south from Cissna Park down 49. I haven't seen since.
Okay.
I do have another video I wanted to share, Jack, and
Sure.
that video comes from Mayor Dan.
Oh,
Your other favorite chaser. He's looking at the storm there north and west of Gibson City coming on in. So you can see the heavy rain and the wind blowing there. And so that is
that's his video right there?
That's the video he sent
Gotcha.
me about a few minutes ago. So just wanted to share that.
Yep.
And let y'all take a peek at that. So just wanted to get that video in, and we'll send it back to you here before I can take things in the car.
Okay, so we got right now Colfax has reports of a couple trees down and some power lines down as well. Storm predictions, or the National Weather Service is not sure yet if the trees are old or rotted, but that is a report that has come on through. We've also got a few cells in Grundy County. The storm's in the Gibson City area right now. The core has a height of around 41,000 feet, and that has seen some severe hail from quarter to $half size. So we're just kind of watching that play out right now. This is our view from Gibson City, and you've got the heavy rain currently. I know it's not a thing that you want to see in Gibson City right now, is heavy rain. The nice thing is that these storms are moving relatively quickly off to our southeast at around 35 to 40 miles an hour. And this is definitely more of a line that will be kind of traveling through the area a little bit faster. So this is not going to be a training event, hopefully. This will not be a training event for the Gibson City folks who are clearly not looking at any more heavy rain that they want to see in their area. This is moving through pretty quickly, and so we do anticipate this not lasting for too much longer, maybe around a half hour or so at max. But again, right now we've got more storms that have been developing off to our west. A few cells here, even going back into portions of the far northwest corner of Sangamon County. But for the most part, though, these have not really looked too impressive as they go over the radar site in Lincoln. They are not strong to severe just yet, but we are still going to watch out for that to be the case. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send it over to Jacob, and when Jacob's got things, I'm going to change things over to our Champaign sky cams, turn them off to the north, and see if we can see any more structure with those storms, because as of right now, the closest one, which would be Gibson City, it's raining right there. So that's what we're looking at in Gibson City. We're going to send it over to Jacob right now, who's got a little bit more in the way of some stuff on radar scope.
Yeah, we're watching here, again, taking a look at some other products. We like to look at as many things in as many ways as possible to make sure we can give you full coverage on our digital platforms. This is that line of storms. Now, here's Gibson City, dead in the middle of that. There's Saybrook, Ellsworth, Route 9 to Bloomington West there. Illinois 47 is here. We've got Illinois 54 right there. As the storm's sitting over town, the National Weather Service has mentioned earlier there was a confirmed report of golf ball size hail in Colfax. The core of that storm now has moved off to the south and east a bit, now sitting over Gibson. They indicate that there could be some quarters to $50 in the Gibson City area. If you're up there watching and you get a little hail, let us know. We're watching all of our feeds and checking all of the chats for information there about this particular storm. I do want to mention Elliott, also Paxton with some heavy rain in the area. Melvin getting some heavy rain. Looks like Sibley, Colfax, and Anchor, all clear for you, all clear for Strawn, all clear for areas in Livingston County. We're watching, though, another cell developing, and the National Weather Service mentioned this one from Downs to Leroy has their interest. In fact, a new severe thunderstorm warning just coming out for parts of McLean, DeWitt, Pyatt, and Champaign. You probably hear the weather radio that we have in the studio here. That's that new severe thunderstorm warning. Jack, I'll let you post the graphic there, and I'll manage things here for a little bit as we see that pop on.
The information is until 6:15 for that warning. We had a... it goes 6:15, and it's got still 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, quarter-size hail, remains radar indicated. So just to let you know.
Standard run-of-the-mill type of severe thunderstorm warning here. We'll see it populate pretty quickly here in a second on my graphic. It looks like it has on the others. It will not include Champaign-Urbana. It will not include Monticello. It will not include Clinton. It is going to include the US 136 corridor from northern Champaign County over towards Leroy, Empire, Bellflower, Farmers City, and Mahomet. So we'll wait and get that populated in my graphic to show you in a minute. Jack's going to post that on social. You got that alert first on your WCIA3 weather app. That warning came out. Your NOAA weather radio also on the WCIA3 tower notified you through your NOAA wireless weather radio here with the county programming to it. So a lot of ways you get those warnings. So we're aware now parts of Champaign, McLean, DeWitt, and Pyatt counties under a severe thunderstorm warning and extension. And there it is. It fills in on my graphic. So you can see here this is going to include Interstate 74 from the Downs exit through Leroy, Empire, that's US 136 and 74, and it will include Farmers City down towards Mansfield. It does not include Mahomet by much, but it does include areas just to the north of Mahomet. It looks like that's going to be, once you get past all those subdivisions on the east side of 47 there, from there northward. There used to be years ago a little ostrich farm down there. Here's the curves there by the river. There's the township building there. This is Fisher. Here's the second curves up by the Foosaland Sportsman Club. Foosaland sits right there. This batch of storms now with wind and hail moving to the south and east. The warning also does include Ludlow, Rantoul, Thomasboro. It's going to include Dewey. It will include Gifford. It will include Penfield. And it will also include, again, Foosaland is in there and points to the north of Champaign-Urbana. Champaign-Urbana, Leverett, Mahomet, Seymour, Savoy, St. Joe, not in this warning. But we've been telling you that we thought these storms would continue to build to the south and west. This initial line here will come darn close to town. And Jack's going to watch on our radar here in a little bit, or on our camera to the Champaign one, so we'll look at it. We'll have to watch and see if some of these continue developing. Now they're weak at best, but it seems like the general trend is now, if they start to get more robust, this is the time to do that. Still some uncertainty with how that was going to play out here, so we'll continue to watch. And then again, as we go more to the south and west, so far from Lincoln to Clinton, Wapella, Waynesville, Hayworth, storms have been there with a little bit of lightning and some brief downpours, but they've not been severe. And if that holds, that'll be good for us, because we can keep those for most of central Illinois from Springfield to Decatur, maybe missing out on the severe weather. But at this point now, it's rolling right to the north of Champaign. And Jack, I know that you've got that sky cam here.
Yep.
It looks like the one at the studio, turned off to the north looking at it. I suspect, Jack, we're going to start getting some good photos here from our viewers. We've already got a few of those, and we've shown some video too. But it looks a little ominous to me, Jack.
Yep, this is what we have right now. Actually, Jacob, go ahead and talk for a second. I got.
Oh, sure, yeah.
I got one right here.
Over. Sure. Let me mute you. You're muted there. So we've got hail report now in Gibson City and no power being reported. There's power outages in Gibson. That came from my mom, and so she just mentioned that. There's no power in parts of Gibson City. There is also some hail being reported. Don't know much more than that, but that's coming from Gibson, so that seems to confirm. I don't have a size either, and I'll be looking in the chat to see if that's the case for us. So we're going to continue to watch and keep an eye on that. So that's the latest report. So this storm now moving into northern Champaign County has a history of some hail and some wind with it as it moves on in that general direction. So I just saw that text from my mom. Jack, I think you're ready to take it back.
Yep.
That warning continues. I'm going to get some more info on that, but it looks like that severe thunderstorm warning is going to continue for Ford County until 6 o'clock, and I'll get more information from there.
Yep. So we've got current time right now is 5:44. This is our view from Champaign on a Woods Basement Systems weather camera. It's our studio camera looking to the north now, and so we've got Neal Street there, and so you've got the darker skies off to our north. Still, in terms of anything really kind of poking out here in terms of anything structure-wise with the shelf cloud, it's hard to tell right now. It still is a little bit just off to our north for it to be picked up nicely on our camera. But as you can tell with our radar, it's not that far away. And as we take a look at that with the loop, you can tell that there's no way that Champaign County is going to end up being dry here within the next about 30 minutes or so. These storms are moving in pretty close. So it has crossed over into the northern portion of the county. We also have it now into DeWitt and Platte County too, technically where this warning is. And so we're going to watch for this and see if we're going to have any more warnings extend down to the south from there. It will have to depend on if these storms continue to hold on to their strength. Technically right now, just kind of looking at the loop, kind of the biggest cluster of lightning strikes could eventually go over into Vermilion County, so we're going to watch out for that. In terms of our hail size currently, Gibson City right now has a target zone over them right now. In terms of that, it's relatively small currently, but this is just radar estimated, and so sometimes it's not able to pick up on exactly what's really coming out of the ground. We have had reports of some half-dollar sized hail that have come through, some golf ball sized hail too. So we are looking
Jack,
at...
if I can cut in real quick, I just got some info from Gibson City. They're saying widespread tree damage in town.
Okay, so let's look at our velocity then to... Ooh, yeah. Okay, so this is still... we have to look at Chicago's radar, and you've got these dark blue or these dark reds that are going away from the radar. As we kind of look at where that is there, that would be indicated of some strong winds, potentially of maybe some downburst wind activity occurring right there. So what that means is that downburst means that the wind basically just comes down. And then when it hits the ground, it spreads out in one direction. So if we've got widespread damage in Gibson City from our trees, that could be, in fact, it.
And to add to that, we've got transformers off of power poles. Whole transformers.
Okay, so we're talking about some pretty decent damage here in the Gibson City area. Unfortunately, once again, not necessarily saying that maybe the ground was still very saturated from the rain that we had. It's been pretty dry, so not sure if that could potentially be the case there, maybe helping to aid in having more trees come down. But as of right now, we might be looking at kind of more of a downburst situation in the Gibson City area there. Again, kind of just looking through our velocity and just kind of going through time back and forth with time there. You've got that area, big area of red which could end up being just the winds coming down, hitting the ground, and then just whooshing out. And that could be what we have here. So I'm going to check a thing here on our chat.
And while you're doing that,
Yeah.
Jack, you keep talking. I'm just gonna,
Sure.
You keep talking. I'm just going to put Kevin's stream up because he's out there. He can hear us, but I don't think we have a way to hear him necessarily.
Okay.
So he's listening, and he's on the interstate now, and I'm going to communicate with him. You just keep talking. We'll watch Kevin's shot as it goes south on 57 right now.
Okay, so Kevin is going south on 57. So he was up in Iroquois County. So he's probably still in Iroquois County, maybe approaching the Ford County area. And so if that is the case, we will probably have him go to Gibson City again and potentially be looking at some damage there. That'll be something to see if we've got that.
Okay, Jack, I think we've got Kevin. Let's go to Kevin real quick.
We're on.
I hope Kevin can hear us.
All right, can you guys hear me?
So Kevin,
Yes,
if you
I
can
can
tell
hear
us
you.
more.
Yes, I can
let us
hear
know if
you.
you hear us, Kevin.
Yes. Yeah, I can hear you guys. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah, there we go. I think I can hear my echo, so there we go. All right, so I'm literally on 57 here. I see that pocket of really strong winds that's coming out of the Elliott area, and I'm coming up to Ludlow right now. So essentially what we're about to see here is that what it looks like to me on radar, that looks like a pretty good little downburst signature that occurred there from Gibson City to Elliott as those winds kind of spread out there and away from the radar. And so you're seeing kind of those darker reds in that area. But what I'm seeing here on the interstate, I'm just going to get kind of ahead of this line a little bit. You can see some clearing ahead of me, behind me, nothing but pitch black. And to my right, which would be to my west, as we look off towards Elliott, extremely dark skies. A lot of the vehicles here on the interstate have got their hazard lights on. They're going at about only 50 miles per hour. But we're in a position here where we're going to get hit by these winds fairly significantly. You can really kind of just see in the sky with this a lot of turbulence with these winds, and we're seeing some of that heavier wind activity that is just south and east of Elliott. It's probably going to be crossing I-57 here in the next few minutes. So I encourage you guys to keep an eye on my shot here, because I'm literally going to get slammed by this here in the next couple of minutes, it looks like, as that pocket of wind energy and probably a downburst that comes rolling across I-57 here pretty soon. So we'll keep you up to date on what we're seeing out here. That's the view from behind me as the storms continue to move, and they're getting ready to cross I-57, a really strong batch of that heavy rain and those winds as well. So we're going to effort our way possibly towards Gibson City, if not, following what we're seeing here with this little pocket, see if it does anything towards the Ludlow area between Ludlow and Paxton. But we'll keep you up to date on what we see. So we'll send it back to you for right now.
All right, Kevin, thank you very much for that report. And we're going to just keep on watching his shot. Right now, we also have the Samsung one.
Which one? I don't have the Samsung microphone.
It's by your computer.
There it is. Here
Yep.
we go.
Yep.
While you're there, Jack, that picture is from Gibson City.
Yep.
Trees down. And so we're getting more reports and trying to figure that out. So I'm going to set it up for you, but I just wanted to get that photo and let folks know where that was. That's some of the damage. I just spoke to my dad. He said there's some spots where whole trees have been blown down. That looks like a big chunk of the tree. That's actually my backyard there. So it looks like I'll be heading home my day off tomorrow to clean up a little bit.
So you've had to deal with cleaning out your basement 1 week, and now had to pick up trees in Gibson City. Man, it's just tough to see them have to deal with more in the way of damage again, but unfortunately a different type of damage. Again, this is our view of our velocity. As more of these storms come into the portions of Champaign County, DeWitt, and Pike County, it's now going to be entering into the National Weather Service office's jurisdiction from Lincoln. So we've now switched it over to the Lincoln radar. But again, you've got still that bright pocket of colors there right by the Gibson City area. And we also have more in the way of some of those strong storms or strong winds approaching I-57 where Kevin has been. So we're going to watch for Kevin's shot here occasionally. And Jacob, if you want to put Kevin's shot back up really quick, if you don't mind, just for like a split second. And I can...
There it is.
Okay, so again, he's on I-57. He's He's heading towards the Ludlow area. As of last check, he may have actually passed Ludlow. Right now, I'm not exactly sure just yet. But that is his view from the storm tracker, and it is coming in. Oh, wow, there's that nice lightning strike there that just came off of that. And so it's moving pretty quickly. You can, in fact, see the progression on screen of it moving off to the southeast. So Kevin's about to get rolled here with our strong winds. And you also have just on the right side of your screen there more in the way of the heavy rain that'll be coming into the area too. So again, today has always been more of a high wind threat type of day, and that has occurred. And so what we're going to do here is we got another 8 minutes, 7 minutes now until our newscast starts. And unfortunately, they're going to have to start getting ready for the newscast in terms of our graphics. So what we're going to have to do here is wrap things up in the next few minutes or so and kind of reset here for the newscast that will start here at 6 o'clock. That does stream on our app as well as WCI.com, and so if you are not able to watch on TV, you can watch it there. We're going to have updates from myself, from Kevin, and we'll probably actually use Jacob too with some of this stuff if I can get that going here in the next minute or so. So again, let's switch it back over to me. Thank you. And again, we're going to continue to watch the situation closely. We do have our warnings that continue until 6 o'clock. And in fact, interestingly enough, we have a new warning that's popped up for Livingston County for a storm that's already passed the area. So we had our first round coming through right now. We have a new storm that's popped up right by the Dwight area again. So about 2 hours later, after one round came on through, we've got this coming into the area there. So we'll have much more information on this during our newscast, which will get going here in about 5 minutes. But again, we got to cut it here because they're going to work on graphics to get going. So see you on the newscast, and we'll have all the information that